What's up YouTube? Welcome to the new video. Today is Friday, I believe it's April 26th, and this is the last day that I am spending living in Florida. I've been here for the last 4 months. I'm traveling back north to Pittsburgh for the summer, and I want to take you guys with me and show you what goes into traveling while you're prepping. Right now, I'm starting to get all my meals ready. So I figured I'd start the video a day early so I can show you guys what goes into that, and then take you with me in the car as I'm driving for 2 days back to Pittsburgh. It's gonna be chaotic. This is what you do when you're prepping. You have to get everything in order. So I'm gonna take you guys with me and show you the entire journey. Got some potatoes and green beans cooking. These are actually for my meals right now, and some of this will be used for tomorrow. I wanna show you guys. So all I use for those potatoes are these shredded hash browns. You can eat these. There's nothing wrong with these. They're just literally shredded potatoes. The macros on these are 0 grams of fat, 15 grams of carbs, 2 grams of protein. It's like eating a normal potato. They're so easy to eat because they're already cut up for you, so you literally just fry them up and then you have them ready. You can portion them easy into your meals. It's very easy to weigh them. Then obviously green beans is a go-to veggie, and so I'm getting this ready. I'm gonna have a meal after this, and then I have to prep the actual meals that I'm gonna be taking on the road for Saturday and Sunday later on. I'll show you when I'm doing that. Working on getting all the meals together. It's not a mess yet, but I'm so thankful that FlexPro Meals hooked me up for a lot of these meals, so let me show you guys that right now. This is gonna make it so much easier. For example, right here, got sweet potato. Let's see what else we got here. Steak, more sweet potato, chicken. So that's what I'm doing over here right now, getting these meals together. Got some steak in there, cooking up. That'll go in here. This is 190 grams of potato, and then we'll throw some green beans in there with the steak. That's my last meal. So I'm getting this all together right now. I'll show you guys as I'm going here, but starting to get things packed up. Here's cream of rice, whey isolate, frozen blueberries, which I'll be able to take on the road easily because then they'll just kind of thaw out as they go, but I'll still have a cooler. If you fail to prepare, then you can prepare to fail. So this is why getting this all situated and packed up the night before is essential. Don't wait till morning you're gonna travel. You gotta do it beforehand because you're gonna be tired when you get up. You have a lot of other things on your mind. I've learned this, whether I'm getting on an airplane or whether I'm driving or whatever, just get it done the night before, and then that way you won't even have to think about it. You just get up, grab the stuff, throw it in a cooler and go, which I'll show you guys tomorrow morning. For supplements, as you can see here, I package these bags individually. So this is like PM, these are my sleep supplements. This would be things like ashwagandha, L-theanine, magnesium in there, Meal 5. This is like, you know, liver and kidney sups and just general health sups there. My AM supplements here, more PM for that day, Meal 1. You know, I got fish oil, all that kind of stuff in there. So that's just a lot easier to do rather than just be picking stuff out of bottles the whole day, you know what I mean? You just get it situated ahead of time. So again, the less you have to think and do, the more thinking and preparation you do ahead of time, the more success you're gonna have, because then you don't have to be thinking all the time like, okay, I need to go do this, I need to go do that. It's already done for you and you don't have to worry about it. Also check that out, that's me right there. Killer face, right there. I think I'm 10 years old there. Basketball, definitely young there. And then I actually drew this picture here. This is my grandparents' house where I've been staying here. So, as you can see, look, there I am again there. Probably like, I don't know, 17 or 18 right there. Obviously pretty young there. Good morning, you guys. Today is Saturday. That means I am leaving. I'm driving from Florida to Columbia, South Carolina, where I will stay tonight. So I'm going to take you guys along for that part of the journey. I'm just getting everything packed up food-wise now. So I'm going to load everything in the cooler and show you how I have it organized. This cooler right here has everything I need today. This is meal 2 for today. Meal 4 and meal 5 is below there. Meal 3 is dry. I'll show you guys that in a second. This cooler is everything I don't need today. So these are my meals for tomorrow, which is Sunday, right here. And then they're underneath here, and I'm throwing my drinks in here too. So, you know, I got all the calorie-free drinks to satiate me on the drive. Got this bubbly burst in here. And then, like I said, there's some meals under there. And then for the dry stuff, I have that over here. So, for example, here's my supplements. Here's some seasoning stuff. This says whey isolate for my cream of rice in there. And there's a bowl in there that I can eat the stuff as I go. So everything is situated like that. I gotta pack it up, throw it in the car now, get rolling with the drive, and I'll check in with you guys as I'm driving. Just made my first stop in Ocala, Florida. It's like in the middle of the state as you're driving over to, I believe, well, not that I believe, I'm going to St. Augustine. I don't know why I said that. You know, anytime I'm traveling, whether I'm flying or whether I am driving, I always have to pee a lot because as a bodybuilder, you know, we're always hydrating ourselves a lot. So I try to not stop more than every hour and a half, 2 hours typically. The next time I stop, I'll be eating. You know, when you're prepping, you're obviously very, very hungry, and it's kind of distracting when you're sitting in a car. I shouldn't say distracting. It's kind of tough when you're sitting in a car and you're driving. You have nothing to focus on other than listening to a podcast or music, or you're with your thoughts. When you're hungry, it's tough because then it's like, okay, how much longer do I have to go before I end up eating my next meal? So, you know, it's a little bit of a head game. Like when I was driving to Florida 4.5 months ago, I was in the peak of my off season. In fact, to be quite honest with you, I didn't really prep my meals. I just ended up hitting like Chipotle's and stuff like that on the way down because I was in the off season. So I didn't really stress as much about traveling like that. Normally I wouldn't do that though, even in the off season. It's just where I was. It's just where I was in my off season at that time. It was probably about a month and a half before prep started, and I kind of just wanted to reduce my stress in that way and not worry about it as much. But obviously now with prep, you have to be 100% on point. So that's why we have the meals and done everything that way. Just made it here to St. Augustine. Had meal 2, and now I have some energy again. I was starting to dip pretty hard because I had my first meal super early this morning. I tried to stretch that second meal out as far as I could, and I almost started to pay for it. I was starting to crash pretty hard there, but we're here now, and I'm gonna flip the camera around and show you guys some stuff because this town looks pretty damn awesome. I'm really happy I stopped here. It was a little bit out of my way. It was maybe like 30 minutes out of the way, but the route I can take going north after this really isn't that much different. So I'll show you guys some awesome sights here. I'm not gonna spend too much time here because I'm not trying to kill too much time. I still have 5 hours of driving after this. Stopped in this coffee shop here and made a quick snag. I don't know if you can see that, but it's just a blend called Reliable, and I always like trying different coffee from places like this, so I decided to pick it up, go into a small shop, see what's up. But I won't be able to try it yet because of the fact that I'm not making any on the road right now. And if I do, I'm just gonna pick it up from somewhere, but I already had some this morning, so it kind of breaks my 1 time per day rule. I might have a second dose of caffeine, potentially, depending on how I'm feeling driving in a little bit, but I've only been doing caffeine once per day recently, and that has actually really been good for me. I very much enjoy that. Definitely, I think having it any later in the day, like I used to have probably, you know, 500-600 milligrams a day, and I'd have some at like 5 p.m. and it just honestly definitely affects your sleep quality. Even if you feel like it's not, you might be able to fall asleep, but your quality of like deep and actual REM sleep is going to be so much less when you have caffeine later in the day like that. I try to have it no later than 1 or 2 p.m. at the very latest, but typically I'm having it at like 8 a.m., 9 a.m., sometime like that. Got this meal lined up, meal 3 here, rice checks, protein, whey protein isolate with water, and then berries on top. Now it's actually supposed to be cream of rice instead of the rice checks, but I just macro swapped it because there was no way I was gonna microwave that and let that sit in my car. It gets super watery like that. So, but I do have cream of rice for tomorrow, so I think what I might do is just eat it a little bit earlier in the day versus for meal 3. So I'm gonna eat this, I'm absolutely starving, then get back on the road. Modern technology is honestly insane because the reason I'm even able to hold this camera and be doing this with my hand is because my car literally drives itself. I mean, legitimately drives itself. I just have to tap the steering wheel every, 1 to 2 minutes so it doesn't yell at me. But this is a 2024, so that's probably why it does that. It's a brand new car, but I mean, legitimately, it steers itself in the lane. I'm going to flip around and show you with the camera how crazy this is. So as you can see here, I don't have my hands on the wheel, and if you can see the road here, there's a bend, and it's literally just going to take this bend. Watch, I'm not touching the wheel at all. You can literally see it. It's insane. It just took that bend completely naturally. Of course, you still have to be extremely attentive to what's going on, so I'm not, completely screwing off and not paying attention to what I'm doing, but it is kind of nice to not have to worry about that and focus on that as much. It gives me more time to think and brainstorm productive things for myself in terms of business stuff, or just, action items that I know I need to do at the beginning of next week once I get home. Now, here's probably the craziest part about the car being able to drive itself. You can literally eat while I'm driving. I just figured this out because normally I would pull over and waste like 10-15 minutes, and when you do that, you don't even feel like you're enjoying the meal. So I feel like I could just take it slower and eat it. Yes, I'm still attentive to what I'm doing, and I can have one hand on the wheel literally while I'm eating, but like I can literally eat while I'm driving, which a lot of times is extremely dangerous, and I'm not recommending you guys do this either. I'm just showing like modern technology is insane. But I actually have this bowl from earlier that I put the protein and rice checks in, so I can just eat it like that. Like, I try to wipe it out as best I could. It's probably not perfectly clean, but I don't really care, to be honest with you. At the end of the day, really. Made it to Columbia, South Carolina. This is where I'm staying tonight. I'm in a Residence Inn hotel room, and I'll flip the camera around and show you guys it. It's actually really, really nice, and there's a reason why I wanted this, because it does actually have a kitchen, which I probably won't really need as much as I thought I would, because of the fact that I did prep all my meals ahead of time. I was partly thinking like maybe I would bring some stuff that I had to kind of prepare in here, but I don't really think I'm going to need that, to be honest with you. But there's a super nice fridge. Let me show you guys. You can see there, this is the setup. It is like truly a residence. I mean, there's like a, this big fridge space here that I could put my meals in overnight. There's a stove and everything if I needed it. I don't know if they have like silverware, like plates and stuff here. Yeah, they actually do. So that's pretty nice. And then this whole area here, it's actually super nice. Got upgraded to a 2-bedroom suite. I think I'm gonna probably stay in this room over here. But yeah, pretty nice. Not a bad deal. I don't know why I look so dark there. But yeah, I'm gonna go get the rest of the stuff out of the car and bring it in here, get settled in. I'd love to tell you I'm gonna be productive, but I'm probably not going to. I'm probably gonna watch some NHL playoff games is what I was going to say. Well, good morning, guys. It is 6:15 in the morning. I've been up since 4:30. I can't sleep, which is very typical with prep sometimes. Typically, in my experience, it's one of two things. It is either stress-related or hormone-related. In my case, I believe it is hormone-related, actually, because I believe I've been dealing with some higher estrogen. Unfortunately, so trying to get that under control, and there's just not much you can do whenever you're dealing with those side effects. Your body has to kind of take its time to balance itself out, which can be pretty brutal and to some extent. But I woke up at 4:30. I slept like 5 hours, and I just laid there for like an hour. And eventually I'm just like, I need to get up and do something and be productive, because otherwise I'm just gonna be laying here. It's like torture to lay there and just think like, oh, am I gonna fall back asleep or not fall back asleep? So I'd rather just get up, move on with the day, and get started. So I'm gonna go have my first meal here in a little bit, trying to get some other work done, maybe get the meals prepped and lined up, and just get everything packed up so I can leave and get on the road early. And we're off on my way now. Last leg of the journey. Today's about 8 hours again, and I got the trusty cooler next to me. As you guys remember from yesterday, hands-free, because I just gotta tap the steering wheel every couple seconds, or minutes I should say, whenever I'm just driving on the, the freeway here because the car self-drives itself. But I also wanted to show you guys something. So if you struggle a bit with being like anxious or jittery from caffeine, I highly recommend L-theanine. So these are theanine capsules. They're 100 milligrams, and I'm having some caffeine right now. Now, typically on nights where I don't sleep as well, it's a little tough for me to take in the caffeine, simply because of the fact that I just tend to be a little bit more anxious after not sleeping the best. So I popped one of these and I'm drinking the caffeine right now. It makes a big difference in my ability to tolerate the caffeine. It's almost like I get all the benefits without any of the side effects that I would normally be having. Theanine's really good for that. Theanine's actually in green tea, so a lot of people can handle caffeine via green tea better, and the reason for that is because green tea leaves naturally have L-theanine in there. So I like L-theanine anywhere from the 100 to 200 milligram range with my caffeine. Now, where I am currently, this is Winston-Salem, North Carolina, which I have never been here. It was a little bit off the path, maybe like 30 minutes or so. But this is where Wake Forest University actually is. So I'm gonna walk around here and explore a little bit. It's good to get out and stretch the legs a bit, especially when you're driving literally all day. So I'm gonna walk around, see if there's anything cool, if there's anything worth showing, flip the camera around and show you. If you look up the definition of the word dragging, that has been me for the last 2 hours since I picked this camera up. I'm definitely struggling. I only have an hour and a half left. Gonna tough it out for the next hour and a half. And then when I get home, I'll still have 2 meals to eat at that point when I get to Pittsburgh. So looking forward to doing that, getting settled in. I'm definitely gonna get home a lot earlier than I thought. I was probably only gonna originally thought I would get home at like 7 or 8 p.m. when I was planning this trip out, but I'm gonna get home around 6, so I'll have a lot of time tonight to kind of settle in and everything. Gonna keep grinding this out, man, but it's getting a little rough because it's not as visually appealing as you get further north, and that was kind of stimulating me for a while. So listen to podcast music, anything I can, talking to the camera like this, that's the stuff that helps. I'm fine, like I'm clearly able to drive and stuff, but I'm definitely dragging. 1 hour left, just about. A little over 1 hour. Making progress. I know my cravings are bad because I'm looking at an Arby's sign right now. Right there. And I'm like, damn, I could go for that right now. I don't even want to eat that stuff. I mean, I normally don't ever want to eat that stuff, but I'm so hungry right now that I could go for it. That's the unfortunate part about high days, is you look forward to them a lot, but it seems like they kind of rev your metabolism up a little bit more. You start churning through the food more, and you're actually more hungry on the high refeed days. So I'm just complaining at this point, but it is true for sure. I have arrived back in Pittsburgh. The journey is complete. I just had meal 4. I have 1 more left. Luckily, I prepped it all. Couldn't imagine coming back here and having to cook everything. Would be a disaster right now. This is where we're gonna end this video. Thank you guys for tuning in along with my journey. It's so crazy to be back here. Such a different landscape than Florida. Life moves a lot slower. I think this is going to be really good for the end of prep for these last 10 weeks. And I'm going to take you guys throughout that journey. Thank you guys for being a part of this video. I hope you enjoyed the journey. I hope you enjoyed spending some time with me. I'll see you in the next one.